We set that intention, we set that vibe, we set the flow, we set what we want to do, and we grind, we know how to set this up. But how do you do that with a child? Hi guys, and welcome to the Uncharted. So, how are we doing? What's going on? Honestly, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's doing? What's shaking? What's moving? I know. Yeah, I know. Going a little bit crazy today, but having fun all along the way, which is what we're all about, just having fun. So, today I want to talk about, I don't like what I want to talk about and what Spirit's going to talk about might be two different things, but I want to talk about anything and everything, and particularly like crystal saging, sound healing, all that kind of thing. Like light language. I even wrote it down. Like, can you believe it? I even wrote it down on a piece of paper so that I don't forget. Then I wanted to talk about crystal saging, sound healing, light language, and the journey of discovery into all of them. And so I'm gonna try and talk about them. And as I said, this will go where it's gonna go and how it's supposed to go, and that will just be it. So let's just actually. No, yeah, let's just dive right into it. I was going to say let's do like our meditation, but I kind of feel like we need to do that somewhere else in this episode. So it just is. So yeah, let's do this. Crystals. What are we going to talk about in crystals and sound healing and saging and light therapy? Well, light language. Firstly, I'm gonna put like this blanket statement on it before I start, and that is, do what feels right and what feels comfortable for you and what you feel intuitively aligned to. Do what feels right, what feels intuitively aligned, what you feel called to, what you feel comfortable, what you feel in your inner knowing. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what each is, what each kind of the energies and potentials in each one. But I don't, so this is kind of, this episode is kind of like a how to, if this, then this, if not, then that, if, because, that, you get the gist. It is a little bit, I think it's going to be, well, I'm assuming it's going to be a little less channeled, but again, I don't know. We guys all know this. I don't know. It just happens. Spirit just talks to me when they want to, and especially when I'm in the space, they know they've got free reign, so that's fine. So, I'm going to say, do what feels comfortable for you, what feels lined. And I was going to start on crystals, but I'm going to start on sound healing. And actually not so much, I was going to say not so much on sound healing, but on singing bowls. So I'm going to talk a little bit about singing bowls, which I find so interesting. So you may not know that I do have kids. I know, this gorgeous body's got kids, like really? Anyway, but yes, I do have kids, and my youngest is highly intuitive and just really, actually he taught me a lot more about spirituality as well, which sounds crazy, but it's not, because when you are still really young, you are fully tethered to spirit and everything that comes with it. So he taught me a lot, and he taught me a lot about energy healing as well, and helped me when I had my hand injury, which is, kind of surprising when a 3-year-old helps you heal your hand. So yeah, that was a little bit of mind freak, mind blowingness that I got taught more energy healing from my 3-year-old than anyone else ever before. So yeah, we'll have another episode all on that, because it was honestly magical. And I suppose when he is old enough and able to, well, we'll do an episode together. So that'll be in the way in the future. Anyway, so I digress. So this is basically what happened is, how do you teach a 3-year-old or like a 2-year-old to ground? Like, how do you get them to ground and to meditate? Because I do guided meditations with you guys. We set the intention at the beginning of each show, just not today's, but we set that intention, we set that vibe, we set the flow, we set what we want to do, and we ground, we know how to set this up. But how do you do that with a child? It is freaking impossible. Like, if you have, like, good on you, like, send me your tips kind of a thing. But they don't understand. They just like, why are you making me sit? Yeah, like, what are we doing? And what I started doing is when I would have him sit with me when I was meditating, and when I go through my clearing, my energetic practices of clearing any energy that wasn't mine, and putting protective grounding, putting all the, well, I was not gonna say good energy, but putting light and love through me and cleansing and clearing, I would have him sit right next to me, and he'd be listening to the music, and I'd be protecting him, laying my hands energetically over him and in his energetic fields to make sure that I was cleansing and cleaning his energetic field. But at the end of the day, that is still external to him, because I'm doing it. I'm clearing his energy, and I'm asking his higher self, his guides, to just help me out. And I do know who his spirit guide is, so I can actually communicate with my son's spirit guide. I know that's a little bit of a mouthful, that I do know my youngest son's spirit. Funny enough, I don't know my other kids' spirit guides, but I do know my youngest, because, as I said before, he is highly, highly intuitive. He has many a times come as like, oh, I heal you, Dad, and he'll go over and he'll touch, he'll touch the wound or whatever and relieve some pain and that kind of things. And he's not learned, he's just innately born with the ability to understand energy healing, and he does it. Now that he's a bit older, he's a little bit selective, and now you ask him to do that and he's like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna do it. But he was a little bit more free with it back like a year ago. He was a bit more freely giving with it. Now he's just like, yeah, let's think about it, what's in it for me. But typical kid, that kind of a thing. Anyway, so I needed a way to get him, well, not get him, but I needed a way to empower him, because he was getting energetic hits and things like that. And, it was, I could see in some parts he was struggling, and that he needed a way to ground. So that is where the singing bowl / sound healing comes in. Yeah, I know, this is kind of strange. In my household, for my son's 3rd birthday, he got a singing bowl. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You don't have to tell me that you were going, that's pretty weird. But dude, welcome to my life. Welcome to my household. If you ever spend time in my household, ever look at things that I do on social media, you know that we're not the typical norm. I have never been prescribed to normal or status quo or anything like that in between, because I think that is just craziness. Why would you want to do everything like everybody else? That's just like, no. So anyway, I digress. That is just, we're not going to go there. So my son got a singing bowl, and honestly, it has been the best thing ever. By him tapping the singing bowl and playing the singing bowl, because I taught him how, he learned how to ground himself. And we had the singing bowl in the spot in the house where it's not with his everyday toys, it's just in a spot where you can go to it at any stage, and he knocks it and he's fine. He doesn't use the singing bowl as much anymore a year later, so he must have learned other ways. I don't know, because I'm not on his spiritual journey, and I don't ask him, because it's kind of personal to him, how he grounds and that kind of a thing. But that's what he does. He'll do the singing bowl, and every now and then he will do certain things to ground him. And yeah, so what am I actually trying to say, you guys? Anyway, what I'm actually trying to say is that a singing bowl is such a cool, unique tool. Yeah, finally figured out what I was saying, which is quite crazy. That was kind of weird, because I kind of felt like I was gone for a second, like I was in some other space, place, time, which I know sounds crazy, but that's what it felt like. So I'm not gonna lie. This is, we've always had an open, honest, and frank conversation, so I'm not gonna lie on that one. Anyway, so sound healing and the singing bowl is another. It's a good tool to firstly ground, center, clear, align all your chakras. You get different types of singing bowls. You get crystal bowls that is tuned to different chakra points, and it is just a way. When you hear singing bowl singing, it just energetically it moves your vibrational energy. it just aligns where there might be gaps in your energetic field. It just adjusts those things. I'm sure there's like more technical terms and there's more descriptive terms, but I'm just telling you what it feels like for me and what it does for me. And it is a good grounding tool. Sometimes you'll find me playing the singing bowl when I feel, because I've got my own singing bowl as well. So we've got a mommy and son singing bowl. It's quite cool. We have our little singing moments and like duets. I know, like singing duets with a singing bowl. Anyway, but like, as you can see, crazy things happen in my household. But we, when I'm feeling stuck or unsure or just like, and I've journaled and that's not helping, and I can't meditate because my brain is so foggied up, like just it's in a mind fog kind of a thing. So then the singing bowl, just playing the singing bowl, sort of kind of is whatever, puts me in a trance-like state where I'm just so focused on the vibration, and the vibrations just, I can feel my body knocking against it and absorbing it and feeling it and tuning with it. It's a feeling, it's an experience all on itself. But again, may not be for everybody, may not be for you. But my personal experience is this is what I used with my son. And that's when it grew from there. He got his singing bowl first, and that was his, and he enjoyed it. And then when we went as a family to Bali, I got mine in Bali, in Ubud in Bali, which, if you haven't been to Bali or whatever, and you're planning on going, go to Ubud. It is just Ubud. Oh my gosh. I swear I left my heart in Bali. I love it, and that's why I run retreats in Bali. Obviously, not currently, because, well, we all know what's happening in the world currently, so let's not go into that discussion. But Ubud is a very, it's an energy center, it's an energy like vortex. Also, on a side note, the movie Eat, Pray, Love, that's where that was shot, in the Ubud area and a little bit further out from there. So I digress. But yeah, I only got my singing bowl not that long ago. So he had his before, so I know it from what it does with my younger son and the practice that it did with that. And also it just the sound and the soothing and the calmingness is just, it's phenomenal. Can't beat a singing bowl. But again, singing bowls are not for everybody. Some people, when they hear a singing bowl, they're like, oh, it triggers them. And the reason it triggers them is because it's hitting a chakra point or resonance in them that needs to be addressed and looked at. But if you're not ready for it, then don't do it, kind of a thing. Next thing is, I've got to look at my notes because I'm like, got so many notes, and you guys are probably going, what? SND on this episode is really different. But as I said, it's kind of like a how-to discussion on everything, and we're just having an open, honest conversation. The next thing is light language. Ooh. Light language is, I've seen a lot of people like ask questions about this. There's videos and stuff on this, and like teaching light language and that kind of thing. And I'm going to say this to you. This is my opinion. A few other spiritual people's opinions as well. So kind of correct. But there is no written, prescribed, readable, downloadable, like learning a new language, like going, okay, this is how you learn German, this is how you learn French kind of thing. There's nothing like this. Say this like, la ha ha, that kind of a thing. That means love kind of a thing. Or Ana Rahmai Rakim, going like something like that, like some like Jewish sounding word, saying like that. That doesn't equate to love heart in like language. There is no, and I don't even know what I just said. Like just like some made up sounds. If that is an actual word or like a Jewish word or some other thing, I apologize. It was just some made up thing that I said. Okay, so I'm just going to say that. Sorry. But this is what I'm trying to get at. With light language, there is no distinctive language that you can say is light language. What light language is actually the language of love. Somebody could be speaking Yiddish gibberish, blah, 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 to you. What it is that you're actually hearing and feeling is the vibrational energy and the intention behind the words that they are saying. If they are sending you a message of, I truly send you love and light, and whatever jumbled up words it may be, but I send you love and light, I send you healing to the specific spot in your body, you will not understand, you may not understand the words that you are hearing, but you will understand the feeling, and you'll be like, oh, I'm feeling warm, and I'm feeling the energy of being enveloped in love, or I'm feeling it in a certain part of my body. That is what light language is. It is the language of energy, the language of love, okay? And it is sending the message, whatever it may be, from a truly heart-centered place, a place of light and a place of love. So that is what love language is. So if you ever find somebody online or wherever that's teaching you how to speak light language, or claims to, like, they fully talk light language and blah 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 blah, and they're gonna teach you and whatever, like, just have like your warning lights on, because that is not light language. That is not, it's unless they're teaching you to come from a truly heart-centered space. But if they're saying, say this, say that, say this, say this, say this, say that, no. Or like, say this chant and that chant means that, no. It is literally just a place that comes from within, and it's truly a language of love. Okay? That is the spoken form of light language. It's basically just an energetic language. You pick up the energy, the vibration of the person, what they're saying, and just, oh, that feels like this, and oh, this is what they're sending me. That's how you pick up light language. So that is my little preaching rant on light language. Then we're gonna go on to saging. Saging, whether you're using Palo Santo, whether you're using divination sage, which, oh my gosh, if you ever grow your own sage, it's so fantastic to grow and to see and watch them grow. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm one of those crazy people that actually grow sage, and I never thought I'd actually do that before. But where I am, sage is freaking expensive, like, to buy sage to burn. And then I felt like really guilty, because now I'm like spending like $50-$60 on this bundle of sage, and then I'm gonna have to burn it, and I'm like, dude, that's like burning money. Like, I can't get it over my heart to just, I might as well just take in a $50 note and like just set it alight. And that's what I felt like. But that's like another energetic issue that I was just feeling like, why should I do that? So anyway, that's how I started like growing my own sage, because, and also then I know, and the other reason why I started growing my own sage is because I didn't, where I was buying sage from, I didn't kind of trust the people that were selling it. It kind of felt a little bit like the dark, like if you think like in a movie like Harry Potter, it felt kind of like the dark arts. And I was like, yeah, maybe not, like maybe not. But anyway, not saying that the dark arts, let's not get into discussion on dark arts and that kind of thing. But yeah, okay, fine. I'll, like, okay guys, let's be real. I do think there are people out there that do practice dark magic and dark crafts and that kind of thing, and witcheries, and where the intentions are not pure. The intentions is to manipulate, connive, and do certain things, and like bloodbend, and like all those kind of things. They do somewhat exist, and they are out there. And yeah, I'm one of those like, oh child, like, no, I'm like running the other freaking way. So, but like, that's like I know this is like a side subject to the actual discussion, but so blood. Oh, what was that about? Saging. Okay, saging. You can even sage with what you call it, with rosemary, with lavender, with cooking sage, culinary sage, and with white sage. You can, there's some few other herbs and stuff that you can use as well to sage with. So just like Google research that one, or you can use Palo Santo, And there are many ways. Again, with saging, if it's for you, then do it. Like, if you feel like, oh yeah, I'm loving the vibe of doing it, then do it. Because again, everything is an intention and it's an energetic match and what feels aligned with you. Like, if you're doing the saging just to sage because that's how you clear, like, bullshit. Like, no. You can clear the energy in the space by opening the curtains, opening up the window and getting a draft blowing through, getting the sunlight going through. There are different ways to cleanse, clear, and energize a space. You don't necessarily need to sage. You can use incense, for example. You can use aromatherapy. You can even get like Palo Santo essential oils. You can use frankincense. I'm trying to like find the name. You can use frankincense in in aromatherapy and diffuse the room. There's so many ways to like cleanse a room. So don't feel that you should just use Divina Sage or that you should use Palo Santo. That are just the most common mainstream use and like associated with spirituality and cleansing, when actual fact is otherwise. And as we said like in a previous episode, this is all about like, I'm like breaking the norm of like bull crap and that kind of thing. And there isn't just one way to sage and cleanse a place. Do what feels comfortable. I mean, with me, with saging and growing my own sage, you think I'd use it pretty often. I don't. I will probably only sage when there is a full moon. And like that, if I remember to do it. Or a new moon, which it currently is a new moon. So maybe I should do that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I remember to sage and clear. Most of the time, I prefer the quickest, easiest option with kids is to open up the curtains, let the light fully into all places, even when it's cold. Open the doors, let that wind in, even if it's like an Arctic breeze, just let that in, flood the place with clear energy and like get rid of it, and then close the doors again. That's the quickest, easiest way to do it. So just done. Like, so that's my little how to whatever on saging. I don't know if that helped you. Hopefully it did. But at the end of the day, as I said, there is no right or wrong way. Then crystals. Oh, my dear friend, crystals. I actually had a friend named Crystal, surprisingly. Then again, most of us, like at some stage, probably had a friend named Crystal. And not the crystal I hold in my hand, an actual person. So let's talk crystals and everything about crystals. If anyone tells you there's such a thing as too much crystals, like, no. There isn't. However, there is such a thing as buying crystals to do certain things for you and fully handing over your sovereignty, your power to a rock. I'll just like stare at you. And if you're listening to this, I'm staring, and like I'm staring hard because, well, do not ever give away your sovereignty, your energy, your anything to something external to you. Crystals are fantastic. They are so good. Each crystal has a purpose. They are placed on they are here for a reason. They can help. They are a tool. They do have energy about them. They can help with certain situations, but they are just that. They are just a tool. They're a tool to help in certain situations, and you can be drawn to certain crystal to help you, to help raise your vibration, to enhance what you currently have. They should not be your default. Like, if I want this in my life, I need XYZ crystal. No. You have the power within you. If I want this in my life, I can use XYZ crystal to enhance the power already that's on it. It is like using a crystal is like putting a megaphone to yourself, and it just amplifies it. That's what it is. Crystals are megaphones. Yeah, I know. You heard it here first, people. Straight off the press. Crystals are megaphones. They amplify the energy that's already in you, and they help it. Sometimes when you're feeling imbalanced, crystals can help balance out. So they are, as I said, they are megaphones. But again, you don't need to go buy the latest trends that everybody else is wearing. And I know as I'm saying this, I'm wearing a rose around my neck, but that is not because of like, oh wow, everyone's going for rose quartz. I actually got given this by my mother, so that's why it is around my neck, because it's actually, for me, it's not just about the fact that it's a quartz crystal. It's the sentiment of what it was given, and she knows that I like crystals. So, hello, thank you very much. But yeah, crystals are. You can go, like, honestly, you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands on crystals and like fill your house with the most beautiful crystals and do certain things with crystals, but there is no need. Like crystal chips, like if you like little chips and stones and stuff, they also hold power, they also hold intention. They are not the most popular by people because guess what? They're like little chips, so they don't look like all flashy and whatever. And it's, you know what? Honestly, crystals can become like a who's is bigger than who's. Like, oh, mine is bigger than yours. Look what I've got, and you've only got this. And no, like honestly, no. Crystals is not like this kind of commodity of a show and tell show. Like mine is bigger than yours, and yours is this. No, like no, 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 no. We're not doing this. No. Okay. Get a crystal that you're drawn to, and don't go, well, that one, like, I'm drawn to this crystal, but it's so small. Like, oh my, what's anyone gonna think? Like, I've got like tiny crystals as well. I've got like teeny tiny ones as well. Because it's the energy of the crystal. What is the crystal there to represent? What is it there to help with and enhance and put a megaphone to? So for me, example, like all the chips and things like that, you'll find them if you go digging. Like, I know if anybody digs in my garden, they're gonna be like in for like a real royal treat, because I give back to the earth what's come from them. So a lot of my chips, I actually put them amongst my plants and I bless my plants. And like with my sage growing, I put crystals around it because one, it's freaking pretty, like the sparkles. And I know it sounds so crazy, but hey, no judgment, yeah. It looks pretty, but two, I set the intention when I put them down there that they are there to help the soil, to help grow this plant, to frost this plant, to protect this plant. That's what I set the intention with these crystals for. So I do have crystals in my garden as well, and they're the little chippy ones. And like where my kids have gotten into my crystals and dropped them and broken pieces off, they end up in the garden as well, kind of a thing. But yeah, I digress on that one. But the thing is, the one take among I want you to get from crystals is there are so many crystals. There's like people have written so many crystal books, definitions on crystals and combinations of crystals, and like taking crystals and putting them in water and making elixirs, and there's all sorts that runs around crystals. Firstly, the one thing that I'm gonna say to you, if you're gonna collect crystals, and have crystals, which I know you're going to have, there's even non-spiritual people and like that kind of thing, on intuitives, they have crystals because it's just awesome. Know your source of your crystals. Know where it comes from. Know where it's actually coming from, because that is going to make a major player in the energy that surrounds that crystal. Like, was it mined sustainably, that kind of a thing, like, or was like, you get where I'm going to with that one. Just know the source of your crystals and know that there are genuine crystals, because some crystals are lower grade quality, which is fine, but then they have dyes and things added to them, and you do actually find crystals that are like quartz that are dyed this weird luminous purple and like this weird greens and that kind of thing. You got to be careful of that. Like, when in doubt, get a natural stone. Get a natural stone and not a polished, tumbled stone. When in doubt, get natural. Get natural cut kind of stone, because then you are sure of what it is that you're getting. Because I'll tell you a story. Not that long ago, hubby bought me it was a gold necklace with a gold capped clear quartz, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous and that kind of thing, and it wasn't cheap. And then when we got the quartz, I looked at it and I'm like, and it was actually glass shaped to look like a quartz. And the thing is, like this, they kind of messed up, because that glass was pristinely clear, like crystal clear. Yeah, I know, playing with it. But I got sent like glass, and certain elements of their stuff can look like quartz is a little bit frosty and that kind of thing. And You would think that you were actually wearing quartz, but you're not. I still have it lying around because we got to sort it out and send it back, but it's a piece of glass. At the end of the day, it's a piece of glass. So that's what I'm saying. Be careful when you're sourcing your crystals. Just make sure and go with what you are intuitively drawn to. Like if you're drawn to a particular crystal, get it. But don't get crystals just for the sake of getting crystals. You think you need crystals and everybody else is having crystals. And if you're now going on the spiritual journey that now, oh my gosh, in order to be it, you need to have X amount of crystals. Otherwise people are going to look at you really weird. No. And that when somebody talks about crystals, that you need to know all about crystals and whatever. No. As I said, crystals are just a tool. It's like a megaphone to what you already have in you, and it just amplifies it. Did we cover everything? We did crystals, we did sages, we did sound healing, sound healing-ish. We did light language. I think that was it that I wanted to cover. Yeah. Wow. Can you believe it, guys? We did that. We went through the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit on sound healing and just say that sound healing is really magical, is really fantastic, but it is, again, not for everybody. Because I know my husband, he's not into sound healing, but he's into other forms of healing, and he's into energy healing. So that is that. So, okay. Let's just calm down. Breathe in and out. That was a fun episode. I actually kind of like that one, just having a little how-to guide on energy, on crystals, sound healing, sages. And it's just a good, hey, this is what I know on the subject. Anyway, guys, as always, it has been fun. Remember, guys, you could have told me my hair was out of place. What kind of friends is that? You don't tell me my hair's out of place. And I don't send a comment now and say, Sandy, your hair's out of place. Because it's kind of too late to fix it now. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. As always, remember to comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next